I know it comes at a cost of me trying to do something more, learn something more. I'm in it for the learning, not for the doing. I want to learn more because I'm nowhere near what I can be. Hello, everybody. Hey, hi, Bilal here. What's been happening the last few days is I'm trying to figure out how to get more of my content out and make it more natural. And so what I realized was that my conversations with people are more natural to me than just talking on the screen. And also, this particular format is audio only because I'm too bothered about the way I come on camera and how fat I look on camera. This way, I can focus on the words, and those are the words that are more important anyway. So I thought I'll try in audio form this time around. And I'm lucky enough to be able to talk to some people on a very regular basis, on and off, and they humble me by asking me many things about how to improve my life and their life better. And Asad Hashim Ali, I have with me right now. He is somebody who works with me at Cedar, and I've had the pleasure of working with him in different departments at Cedar. And so he's been asking me a few questions here and there, and I thought, wait, he asked me a question today, and I was talking to him, and he said, you know what, why don't you just record this so that anybody else can also use this? So I thought, why not? Mm-hmm. So here we have Asad Hashim Ali. Hey, Asad.
What's up? I'm here.
We're
doing this finally.
We are doing this finally.
This is so
I swear, it's been like 3 years, man.
Yeah.
And I think this is my first non-video recording.
Yeah.
And it's liberating.
It feels very relaxing also.
Absolutely.
Like two dudes with their mics on, relaxing,
I know.
having a good conversation.
Absolutely.
No coffee, but...
I know. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But we have coffee. Huh. But yeah, I don't want to keep this too long as an intro because I don't want people wasting their time on just listening to us, feel happy about the way life is generally and how we get to do what we want to do on a daily basis.
100%.
And so basically, you had a question to ask me today, and because I came in, basically I was here and I was coming to sit down and work for a bit, and I bought a couple of books, and I was telling him, you know what, I'm going to kill you guys with guilt, but just keep buying books until you guys finally read some of them.
Yeah, because the whole shelf doesn't count. That doesn't work well enough for us.
Well, this is one shelf only. There's more at home.
Yeah, but the question was pretty simple, and but it has a lot of depth to it. And the question was, how do you do it? Because whenever we're chilling with you and whenever we were working together, especially, you throw a lot of knowledge bombs and you throw a lot of information. But then at the same time, the speed with which you work and the pace at which your mind works, it becomes very, very hard for others to grasp. Now, you and I have been working together for many years now, closely. So I've managed to figure out and decipher what you're saying. But for a third person coming in, it becomes not daunting, but a little... overpowering, because they're like, yeah, why did I not think of that? How do I get to that level? So the question is, how do you do it?
How? Well, okay, there are about 3 layers to the answer. The one layer, which definitely I'll talk about last, is about the innate ability. And that is everybody's, we all come with different abilities, and I understand there's talent, and I am actually talentless. So I really can't do anything. But what I do have is intellect. Somehow I've been born with a brain that can decipher information at a much faster rate,
right.
Which is also responsible for why I speak so fast, because I just find voice, it gets in the way of what I want to think. So I try to speak as fast as possible to get my point across. But that's the smaller part. But, people should not judge other people. I never judge. I was telling you something today, I think was it today or yesterday, that, I started judging people not on their intelligence, but on their competence, and they're not the same thing. Competence can be achieved by drive, motivation. Right. Now, you said, how do I do this? And first of all, I think in the last conversation we had on the interview on the Cedar's podcast, it's like, literally, when you surround yourself with people who can shame you and humble you, in a good way, you'll realize that everybody can do it. And I don't mean, I mean, sadly, I don't get to find too many around me. There are great people in Pakistan. I just, in my social circle, I don't get out in my social circle. So I just stay, as I stay indoors, hermit, on my desk, laptop, reading and stuff. So I find those people who do more than me. I mean, my day is very short compared to people as big, as busy and as get the influential as Gary Vaynerchuk, Simon Sinek, Seth Godin, Jordan Peterson. These people that I look up to, Jack Ma. These guys are doing much more than I am in a day. So if they can't do it, who the hell? Why can't I? Right. But that's the first part. The second part, what I do is I realize is that there's some merit to the advice that simplicity matters. So you simplify your day by not wasting time on basic decision making,
right,
and even the most menial tasks. I will quote unquote waste my time on researching random stuff for a very small piece of information that I might have been able to skip over and would not achieve much for me. But that comes from something else, and I'll talk about that. But just the fact that if you can just simplify your life and say, the tasks that I have to do on a regular basis, I don't want to think about them. I want coffee now. I will pay whatever it needs to pay to minimize the effort needs for me to get coffee. For example, me having to order from Butlers or Esquires every day was just a pain, man.
Right.
I said, let me get my own coffee machine. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
We got a coffee maker, we got a press of a button, 2 minutes, we got coffee. And even that 2 minutes is too long for me.
Really?
You know that.
Yeah, it is. But yes, there is an economic argument to it as well.
Yeah.
It's saving money. But at the same time, I understand that it's about fulfilling that need.
But see, economics doesn't only apply to money. It is saving me time. And time, which is the title of this podcast today, time is more valuable than money.
Right.
And if you get that, you will not waste it. Time is more valuable than money. I had this conversation with my kids like 3 days ago. I recorded that conversation. It doesn't come out well. But I was talking about this stuff. Time is more valuable than money. So, yes, economical argument, per cup is cheaper and all that. But you know what? Even if it wasn't cheaper, I'd do that. I'm spending the same amount of money on coffee now. I just have more coffee now. But it's faster. It has made my life easier. I wear the same kind of clothes on a daily basis now. I've got these kurtis made with these shorts or pants. That's it. And I would wish to get all of the same color. So I don't have to decide the color now. That's
but
what
you say, I'm sorry I'm cutting you off there, but you also, I don't mean to say, maybe this might be a dumb question. If it is, sorry for wasting your time at that. But at the same time, now you mentioned these high performing individuals and these high performing CEOs. Simon Sinek, Gary Vaynerchuk. Well, one name also, you mentioned simplicity, so the first name that comes to my mind is also like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, because they wore the same clothes every day to work because that was a simple decision to make. But then don't you feel like once you work towards simplicity to that extent, you might also miss out on some interests or some elements that keep you alive as well, that keep you human? Because you try to work on the clock constantly as well.
But you see, people, I think when you say that keeps you human and all that, I think it comes from the desire to feel the need to have a purpose in life. And so we find purpose in friends and in relaxing and somehow I've gamed my clock or gamed my brain to realize that responsibility is purpose. So in those responsibilities, I don't have, for me, creativity, if I'm sitting and enjoying a painting, for example, or a cup of coffee or a book, I want to spend time on that, but not deciding what clothes to wear. Yes, the fashion is a creative outlet. I understand that, but it's, it's all about others' perception of me. The reason why I love the clothing, attire, is because it comes with the idea that somebody spent time taking care of themselves.
Right.
Till that extent, it impresses me. Okay. So if I find somebody who's not well put out physically, but he spent hours and hours crafting something that he's going to be good at, I have much more respect for that. When you said, so what drives me also, I don't understand this 80-20 rule. A lot of people live by. You do 80% of the things in 20% of the time. What people don't get is that it is not just skewed ये वाली scale है ना 80-20 का उतना skewed ये भी है कि people don't realize the last 5% of excellence you give to something is in most cases it results in 3 times the gain. People don't get that, and I have gotten it, and I'm telling you, I've understood I've seen the effect of it. So when people do, for me, the last 5% of some tasks perfection might take the longest time, but once I achieve that, I have understood that in and out. And that knowledge is when it's passed on a level where I can tell 5 people about it, 10 people about it, and then they tell others. That magnification can only have come from me pressing that last 5%. Yes. And nobody who's that big or that successful that lives by the 80-20 rule. The middle management or people who have reached some level of success might. But if you really want to get to the top, there's never 80-20. For them, it's 100 and 0. That's it. You either do it completely or don't do it. Completely means know the ins and outs. I mean, people have different terms for it. 80-20. Gary calls it the dirt.
Yeah.
He wants to macro, but unless he gets the dirt, he can't macro. I don't care about the middle. I care about the micro, the dirt. care. I don't tell people how to do it. I want to do it myself to learn. So that tomorrow, when I do the macro level, I understand what that takes. So I will go, like recording podcast for 3 days, 4 days, I was just doing this, trying to understand how to sound better. And not to, so that 2 things matter for me. I know that I'm doing the best I could to put my sound out.
Right.
Not that I'm worried about creating more hype about this show or anything like that. It's for me.
Right.
And I don't understand, people don't understand that for me, about myself. They don't get that about me, because this matters to me. Just like one day Steve Jobs said his father taught him that, when he was a carpenter, said that, you know what, for me the inside of a cupboard, the one that nobody sees, is as important as the outside. And that same philosophy, it might seem like a petty thing to talk about. Yeah, who cares about the inside? But it tells you about somebody's life's philosophy. That even the thing that nobody sees, you do it right.
They might be.
And that drives me, man. And so I take our time by knowing what things are not important. And so people keep asking me, can I come see you? Can I come see you? And you might see, my day goes by, I've talked to a lot of people.
Right.
I too will talk to a lot of people.
Right.
But they just happen to be there when I'm talking to them. If you ask me, do I plan to want to talk to people? I don't want to. I want to plan to improve myself. So it might seem very selfish, but I literally, are so many people want to see me, and I love to see them. But I know it comes at a cost of me trying to do something more, learn something more. I'm in it for the learning, not for the doing. I want to learn more, because I'm nowhere near what I can be. And I know the next few months, if I can hunker down on learning and then teaching, and that's it. That's all I want to learn. So I find time for that. So like read books till like 2 a.m, like Joe Rogan. I just discovered people last week that didn't exist in my life, and my life has drastically changed in 1 week. And I think the power of voice, the power of words is tremendous. We are the only human beings, human beings are the only animals that can decide what is good and bad. That can take decisions about what to do in the next step.
Right.
And voice and words can move people from one to the other. That's the power. That's just and so that drives me to do the best I can be. So uske liye, if I have to give up social engagements, give up everything, I will do that. What's the point of those things? Yes, if some, there are some social engagements that you have to actually, you can teach. To talk to people and they learn something.
Right.
Great, you do that, but don't waste any more time. I stopped watching TV shows for that reason. Netflix, all of it gone. It just takes up too much time.
That's very good to hear.
Music also. Sadly, though, I try to get music back in my life. Music is beautiful though. Yeah. Sorry. I know this is
No. But this is one last. I actually have one last question.
Just one?
Because
for today.
This is also no. But the question is, so this won't stop
when I'm dead. Yeah.
When
I'm dead.
Right,
yeah. See, the thing with that is that another fascinating thing. Yeah.
No, I don't mean this in a negative way.
Yeah, I know. You don't. Yeah. And another fascinating thing, like I shared with you the other day, the infinite game versus finite game concept.
By Simon Sinek.
Simon Sinek. Oh, what a concept. Yes. See, I know there are a lot of intellectuals who will dismiss such people. What do they know? What they don't. The problem with intellectuals is that they think that they know everything, and then the world is stupid. Sometimes you don't need to be intellectual to move people. And if something resonates with me, even if it's not the smartest thing in the room, I'll take it. This idea of infinite game versus a finite game, I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
And for me, life is an infinite game. There's no winning for me. There's no, okay, I will make this much money and I've won. Or I have done this many schools, I won. There's no winning. It's a life. For me, it'll be as fun to make one thing or nothing, or 10,000 things, if done the way that I'd like it done. That's for me. Every day is lived for the joy of itself. And what I've learned is, if you understand that your position, I live with this spiritual idea, religious idea, that if I have this ability by financially, when I've been born in a good family that has some money, that I went to college, then also the fact that I've had good education and I've been given this brain and this drive. So now if I'm not going to use it for the betterment of people around me, then what is it worth? So I have this boj on me. This would the word boj, responsibility. And that drives me, and I enjoy that. So I've gained myself to enjoy it. Obviously, who doesn't enjoy just lying on the beach, enjoying moments like that, or going out with friends or watching TV? But once the moment is over, that feeling is gone. But if you can figure out how to take joy and pride and responsibility, and you're fulfilling it, every day you have that. You can't give it up. It lives with you. So that I enjoy. Yes, not bone and back crushing responsibility, but good enough that motivates me. So I take that. And that is every day. So it's not going to stop. It might be what I'm working on will change. What for sure. Because if it doesn't change, then you're not growing. People think change is bad. Change for the frivolous sake of change is bad, but you read 3 books in 1 month and listen to 3 smart people, and if it doesn't change you, you are inflexible, you are not you don't have a growth mindset. And that's what we know the future is about.
You are not a linchpin.
Well, that's so.
You're a clock then.
Okay. Chalo.
No?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I haven't read the book. Community to comment on the ideas, but you know what? I would love for people to be linchpins in society. They matter to everybody. They are linchpins at the place we work, Cedar. There are many who are the backbone, the pulse of the school.
Right.
And the people as little as some of the support staff, they work with their heart out.
Right.
And I respect them, dude. And they can do it. So why can't I? They have nothing going. I would not say nothing going. This world is unfair to them. They don't give them a path to move up in society, but they keep going at it. Because what drives them? The responsibility for the kids. So I find it actually, when people say we don't have kids, or we don't want to have kids, we don't have kids could be a biological problem, but we want to have kids. And मैं उर्दू में word है बदनसीब. I think those people are बदनसीब. Unless you have kids, you don't understand the true joy of responsibility. That is
joy
it.
Of responsibility.
The joy.
Wow, okay.
Yaar, to ask your parents this. You all ask your parents this. There's उर्दू में पूछो इंग्लिश में whatever the term is, like पता हो यार इस responsibility में एक वो मजा आता है, एक खुशी मिलती है, जज्बात. It's just you ask any father about the kids when the kids do something that they need them to do. Uff.
मतलब ये एक वैसी जिम्मेदारी है जो उनको भी एक अच्छा इंसान बना दे.
Absolutely, man. अच्छा इंसान, do better for society, and then you game that for all the things. So my daughter is not my responsibility. The world around me is, people around me are, but I've learned it from her. Before that, I was a very different person, and that grows you in ways you can't even imagine. And so that's beauty in itself. And so this whole month, I'll dedicate the month of Jan and Feb. Feb mostly, it's only with the last 1 week, literally, on this awakening in myself to understand that responsibility is something to be proud of. Right. So this book I want to read, it's called 12 Rules to Live By, Jordan Peterson. I will put up a link in my description for this. I want to read that book now. It's just something that I would love to. And he has a moving voice, he has a moving concept, and I've seen some videos, I've shared some with you. So people don't get to see him too much. So what people don't realize, what I'm intend to do with all of this stuff is that what I'm regurgitating in this conversation and everywhere is nothing created by me. This is all others talking. Inspired, just copy paste, man. I mean, I'm going to be that honest. It's just copy paste what they say. It's just with the Desi accent, with somebody that they can say, "ये तो बंदा बोल रहा है." So now and this year, instead of just being talking, I want to show people. Right. I want to show everybody what those words mean, like excellence, drive, everything, and so that everybody's in my rear view mirror. I want to be just going ahead, not for myself, so that people behind me can give it. Unless you push yourself, others won't push themselves.
Right.
A lot of the people who are going to compete with you, because competition is the biggest driver. So for me, time is, if I waste my time, I'm actually wasting others who are trying to follow me. So if I know that, so I'm not just wasting my time, I'm wasting a whole generations of time or whatever. So it might sound very egoistic to somebody who listens to me, but if you know me at all, you know that ego is the last thing. I check that out at the door. Yes, competition does drive me. So that is one other thing. So why, how do you do it? Competition also. Being the best in the room. I believe in that. My job every day is to be the best, the hardest worker in the room, and the one who is growing the most. So honey, you're 23, 24. How old are you? 23. Yeah, I'm 39. I'm old. But I want to be learning more than you every day.
And that's what makes you my rival.
So?
Because honestly speaking, this is something that I will add on to this. I'm taking a couple of seconds off your time. But no, this is so... you sent the talk on Infinite Games by Simon Sinek, and in the very end there's a clip in that which he says is that find yourself a rival. You will always be your biggest competition, but find yourself a rival so that you keep the competition with yourself alive.
I will change that. He said find a worthy rival.
Find a worthy rival, sorry, yes.
A worthy rival.
A worthy rival. Now I've realized is that if I stay on the same path I am, I'm very happy with the progress and with the growth I've achieved over the past 3 years.
Absolutely.
With you, right?
Nobody will doubt that. Because you have that. We all see it.
Like, I too believe...
But I want to beat you. I'm
I'm sure you will. But the fact is that if I continue in the same way I am, I'll be 10 steps behind you. If I consider you to be a worthy rival and I try to work at your speed, at your level, with my intellect and my capacity, I'll be at least one step behind you, if not on the same speed
And
as you.
that's the biggest compliment you can give me. I'm very honest with you. That's why I'm doing this. Why do you think I share what I do with you guys? It's not showing off. Honey, at my age, I don't need to show off. I've also realized this, that I have enough that people, those who respect me. I don't need, so I do it because I know I can move you and Daniel also, for that matter.
Right.
If I can move other people, I talk to Ali every day now, and I want to keep pushing him. And this fellow, Ali Ramazada, he's going to move mountains, him and his wife, with whatever they do, because I just want to push them. And if I can do that and so that's what I do. I don't want to be better than you. I want to compete with you so that you compete with me. And that's the idea. And that's what I find other people, that I am looking for competition abroad. And I take that. I want to compete with Gary Vaynerchuk. I want to compete with this guy. I want to beat them. So that's for me. So that's a great thing, man. If we can beat each other's competition, then hell, man, the most worthy and healthy rivalry there is, then why not? Yeah.
And something that gets that gets left unsaid in these kind of conversations is that it is a marathon.
It's not even a marathon, because it's a never-ending race. It's not
yeah.
even a marathon, because marathon will end.
Yes.
Yes, you can think of it as slower.
Yeah.
It's not a win.
Yeah.
It's just how you said this is how you play the game.
Yes.
And it's very lame to just use a sports metaphor, but it is how you play the game.
True.
And that's winning. And some days, like Simon Sinek said, some days you will be ahead, and some days the competition, the rivalry will be ahead. The rival will be ahead. And it's okay.
Yes.
It is all okay. It's part of the game.
Yes.
And just as long as you know you can rise up again. And that's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Anytime, man.
I think you should do this more often. One question with Bilal Hamid.
Yeah. I can do this every day, man. Audio I can do every day.
Yeah.
I don't have to hide my bulk from people this way.
That's the fluff.
I know it's the fluff. I know.
That's where the love is at.
I know. So I'll do that one video once or twice, once in 2 weeks maybe or something. But you know what? That takes a lot of energy out of me. This is much easier, man, sitting with you. This is actually unscripted, unplanned. We're just talking right now. We said, hey, plug on the mic. Let's do this.
And it's that simple.
And so now, so you know what? We can do this more often, dude. 2-3 times a week, man.
Yeah.
Come by. You've got a good voice. I'm sure people would like to hear that voice also.
That's the first compliment you've given me this year.
Yeah, and the jacket looks good too.
Oh, thanks. Stop it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Please do comment on if there's something that you were to take from this. I will try to share stuff. I do have a habit of forgetting things to share, but I will. And I will share this. And here's to many more conversations. And hopefully somebody out there can take some inspiration from the words of others I will share. I'm just going to be a mouthpiece for other smart and uplifting individuals. That's all. None of this is my own stuff. But I will try to lead by example and live by example. That's all I want to do. So, thank you very much for listening, and thank you, Asad Hashim Ali.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for having me on your show.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.